All right. I started just a couple of minutes early tonight just because my iPad has given me fits and I wanted to make sure I could read your comments. So, 1 minute to make sure it's working, and it looks like it is. Joanne, Linda, Stacy, hello, ladies. How is your evening going? Hope it's going good. It is a little bit stormy here in Texas, which is really unusual for this time of year, but bringing nice, cooler weather, which I'm loving. Although I know some of you out west are definitely cooking, well, we are actually enjoying lower temperatures than normal. I'm sorry for those of you doing that. Who else is here? Okay. Stacy, Beverly, Michelle, Dee, Lynn, Carol, Pam. All right. Tiffany. Hey, lots of good people. Oh, you ladies, it makes me so happy to see all of these names here. Dee, Kim. Wonderful. Thank you for joining me tonight. Let me transition you over to my desk where we can go ahead and get started. Welcome, everyone, to Queen and Company's Christmas in July event, which is one of our favorite things to do every year. We have quite the lineup for you tonight, and I'm so excited to be able to introduce and explain all of these brand new products that are coming out. It's a huge, huge amount of stuff. It's going to take us a little while to get through all of this. So thank you for joining me. Couple of housekeeping things. Hang out with me all night and you'll be glad you did. I do have a very fun sneak peek to show you at the end. And two, as usual, I will be giving away a $20 gift card to a randomly selected comment tonight. So please do leave your comments and do make it so I have a chance to keep our feed going. It helps to bring our lives to more people, and we really appreciate your comments, but we'd like to reward you for the effort too. Plus, I just enjoy hearing from you. So thank you. And it looks like we got lots and lots of you here tonight. Well, oh, and of course, one more housekeeping thing. Let me grab it off my printer because I thought I had it all handy. And of course, I forgot something. But I'm going to show you this maybe more than once tonight because, quite frankly, it's incredible. Wendy has pulled out all the stops for the very best ever free with purchase gift. So if you've already, I don't know if Wendy's loaded the products yet or not, but if she has and you've gone shopping, you make sure you look at this on the website. Matter of fact, let me show you the real thing. I was going to wait till later, but it's too cute to wait. Do you see this? Look at this cute container it comes in. Mine's open, so I can pull it out in a minute. We'll get a closer look in a minute. But these are amazing, and they're big, and they are packed full of amazing toppings. So I'll get into that. We'll get a closer look at that in a minute. But if you're doing your shopping, don't forget about this. It is free if you spend $149 in your order. That's before discounts, before shipping, before taxes, and you cannot apply like rewards or discount codes, all that kind of thing. You can use gift cards, but just know that that is an absolutely incredible deal. I think it's available for purchase separately, so if you don't want to place that large an order, you can go ahead and just order those. But it's the most incredible thing she's put together for free with purchase, in my opinion, ever. Hard to be able to top that. Okay, but let's go through our list. We have so many fun new things to show you tonight. The first of which, and let me clear my space here so I can actually make room to show you everything. All right. We're going to talk about our new card kits, our Christmas card kits. Of course, Christmas in July, we have to have fun new Christmas products. So you can see I store mine in 4x6 photo cases, and I've used mine, so what you're seeing here isn't exactly what you'll be getting. You'll be getting quite a bit more, but I wanted to give you the general idea of what our three new shaped card kits are. We have the Candy Swirl, the Candy Cane, and the Snowflake. Let me give you a better look at what those kits look like over here on my desktop. Let's see. We transition. There's a little peek at that set of ornaments again, topping ornaments. But here is what you will get in your kit for Snowflakes, Candy Cane, and Candy Swirl. You will get 4 pieces of foam with each one. You will get the dies with each one. And these are fun to use as a shaped card or to use on a 4x6, or sorry, A2 card, a 4.25 by 5.5 inch card. Here's a couple of examples of the way that they fit and the way that they look on our cards from our design team. This one's by me. This is a cute Candy Swirl by Greta card. No, oh, there's a better look at. Oh no, that's the same one. Different one by me. Candy Swirl by me. The other one was Candy Cane. Here is one by Mary Ann. I love how she used the stripe paper on this one, as well as that fun border stripes too. Lots of fun stripes on this one. And she did it again on this one too. Love, love the red and white. It's classic with the candy swirl and looks cute, cute, cute on these cards. Here's another one by Mary Ann using our snowflake. And I love her contrast of the colors. She got her pops of grays and blues against the outline in white. Super cute snowflake card. And another one here with mostly whites with little pops of red. And then look at this one. Isn't this cute by Mary Ann? Now I hope it's big enough on your screen. If not, maybe you can zoom in and you can see all of the cute little snowman toppings that are inside Mary Ann's adorable snowflake. And that is, I believe, one of the toppings available. It's a restock. If you picked it up in the past, you're ready to go. And if not, I think it's included in our toppings in the Christmas in July section on the website. So another look at the Candy Swirl by Greta. So that is some of the fun things available in those new kits. So all kinds of fun options. Makes a great fast card. I love that they make it so that you can you don't have to be too complicated in your card design. Lots of options if you want to be complicated, but if you just want to be able to make this your focal point, have it, shake and be impressive and be done, what great opportunities you have to be able to dig into the shaped card kits. A lot of wow factor for not as much work, if you ask my opinion. Plus, if you really love shakers, this is a great way to make your shaker toppings really stand out. All right. Now, up next, I put this out here, is really what I consider the main event here today. Move my comments off to the side. But this is our brand new Christmas clothesline, which is a new Endless kit. And as an addition to our Endless collection, it does have, let me show you this kind of close up here. It does have 2 new frames in it. This fun little kind of wavy scallop, as well as this more pinked edge here, pinking edge. And that is different than all of our other Endless frames, but it does use the exact same foam. So if you have any of our previous Endless kits, or if you have refills of our Endless foam, you're in business. And then of course, all of these amazing new dies. And this is actually the die guide sheet you will get in your kit, which has everything grouped by which dies you need to complete which look. So if you want the full Santa suit, which is the coat right here, and the bottoms over here, these are the dies that you will use. Same thing with our elf costume, our elf hat, some socks. Aren't the socks cute? Look, you can do 2-tone colors in the socks. Hats, all kinds of things. So everything is grouped for you in the die guide according to what you'd need. You want to do Mrs. Claus? That's what you need for Mrs. Claus. These are your clothespins here. And then these are your clotheslines. So how cute is that to be able to do Santa's laundry or the elf or Mrs. Claus? Cute, cute, cute way to do Christmas cards. And because it's part of the Endless collection, you can have shakers behind your clothesline to feature a fun, different way to make that shine. Let me go back to some samples that we have here. And let's take a look at a few ways you can use this fun new kit. All right, so this one by Greta. How cute is her elf one? All elf. I love that she went all elf. Oh, looks like I see someone asked about what makes kit an Endless. So Endless just means that you're going to use the vast majority of your card as a shaker. So you have these giant frames, and we have quite a few fun options for them. Everything from Halloween, Christmas, and on down. And Endless because it has endless possibilities to customize. Okay, so Greta's fun elf Endless shaker here. Truly cute. And here's another one by Greta where she's got Mr. Claus and Mrs. Claus and all of their various assorted paraphernalia on the clothesline here. Love the fun colors in that one. This one's one of mine. Same concept, but I tilted it on its side. And another one by me. This one I mixed in Santa and the elf. I didn't do Mrs. Claus with this one. Oh, and okay, we're moving on to the second part of our Endless addition tonight. Let me pull that up first. Okay, so this is the baby edition. Now, when we say addition, what does that mean? Let me pull you back to my desk and we'll talk about what that means. In fact, why don't I just bring you the whole thing and I can show you the rest of what's in the in the Christmas clothesline as well as what's in the edition. So this is how I store mine, again, in those 4x6 cases. All of my endless is in cases like this. And here's a better look at the dies. I have mine grouped by like what you want to make with it. So this one is Santa, of course, and this one's Mrs. Claus. And then I've got the elf down here. Then the stamp set here, which allows you to create those very super fun layered sentiments. There's the Christmas one. You have a jolly Christmas, Merry Christmas, and sending Christmas cheer. And I know we've had additional Christmas endless sentiments before. These are all different, brand new. These are the frames if you want to see those in person. The wavy and the fun little deco pinking edge there. All with our signature stitching. And then, let's see, hard to tell without lining it up with the stamps. This is the baby or the Christmas, but as always, you get the dies that create the outline around your stamped sentiment like this, and then an additional outline to give you more options when you're designing for colors and to help your sentiment pop. So that is everything in the kit, although of course I should have mentioned too, you also get the pattern paper pad, Winterberry Frost. It's a brand new paper pad, just came out, just arrived this week. I got it today. The paper took a little while, which is why we had to delay our launch a few days, but it's here now. And I want to show you just the pretty colors. Isn't this just a fun color palette? Rich reds, some fun kind of sage greens, and then that little bit of kind of mint and green in there. That's that, the solids, and then here are the patterns. So fun green and mint stripes, some tone on tones, and then you have this fun kind of swirly red, which I really like for Christmas. Polka dots, some snowflakes, different kind of polka dots, some plain red and some stripes, some fun little zigzags, dots, and this one's kind of fun for backgrounds. I really like how subtle this is, this gray. It looks a little blue in my, I think my throwing the white balance off of my camera. It's gray, not blue, but it's very pretty. And it makes a great neutrally background. Some of this fun diamonds. I really like this for some elf costume stuff. Make great socks for the elves. And then this is fun kind of holly berry greens, a little more snowflakes. So really beautiful papers that make it easy to create some really fun Christmas cards. Okay, so that's it for Christmas clothesline. Let me go back to the new addition to that is also coming out this week, and that is the baby edition. Here's an example of what I mean by that. So unlike Christmas, it doesn't come with two new frames because these frames really work beautiful for the baby one as well. And as a clothesline edition, I kind of made sure that you had some good clotheslines that go across these real well. Now, can you mix and match other frames from our Endless collection? Yes, absolutely. But we figured you had what you needed to be able to complete your clothesline with these frames and didn't need to have additional ones. So you can see in the dies, you have a set of the clothesline pins and also your clothesline. And then again for your words, which help you put layered sentiments together like this. And then the stamp set for this set says, "So very happy for you. This is cuteness. And oh baby, congrats." So very fun. And the dies in this, I think, are some of my favorite we've ever done just because they turn out so cute. You have these wonderful, let's see, options for both boy or girl, or you could go totally gender neutral, depending on how you wanted to make them look. But they layer a little bit, nothing complicated. One or two dies, which you don't even have to layer unless you want to, but enough options to help you get a little pop of color if you want it. How cute is the sock monkey? He is my favorite. So here is the same idea in the girls, even the socks. Aren't they cute? Just in the hat. So many fun, adorable little options for baby. Let me show you the papers for that. You have the wonderful solids as well, and I'll just quick flip through that. A fun little, almost pastel-y collection of solids there. And then, of course, the pattern paper that matches with a really fun color palette, one kind of girly and one kind of boyish. So stars and tone on tones. I love that they each include this really fun rainbow set. There's one for the boys, and then there's one also later for the girls. Polka dots or splashes of polka dots. Tone on tones in the same colors as the solids. There's the girls' rainbow. I can see using this paper for all kinds of things, not just for baby. So lots of fun options. Stripes, hearts. I can see this being a very versatile pad. It doesn't necessarily have anything in it that like screams, because of course you're going to say that just fine with the dies, right? So you don't need a paper that necessarily screams baby. And so these are just kind of a fun addition that will be really cute with cards far beyond baby. And the paper pads are available separate if you want additional besides the two that come in the baby kit. So those are probably our two biggest new kits. The Winterberry Frost that goes with Christmas Clothesline, and the Baby Mine that goes with the Baby Clothesline. So super cute, super fun. All right, let me set all that aside because there still is so much more to go through. All right, and while you're kind of waiting for me to move on to the next set of things, let me ask a question. Since we're talking about Christmas in July, how about what is your favorite Christmas movie? Transition you back to my desk while we do that. Favorite Christmas movie? Do you have a favorite? I'll just have to wait and watch the comments to see if anyone has the same favorite Christmas movie as me. Let's see. Mine's an old one, old one. All right. Okay, before we move on, actually, yeah, let's look at some samples here. So this one here is from the Christmas Clothesline, and this is Greta's. Did we already look at this? No. Yes, we did. We didn't look at baby, though. That's the problem. Okay, baby. Let's go to baby. Here we go. All right, so there's the one I just showed you of mine. So let's skip that. But here is one by Marianne. Love that she did hers going from the top, diagonal. That's the word I'm looking for. And I love how she used a background die to give kind of a fun little stitched effect to her background there. Lots of room to see shaker toppings in her sample there. Cute, cute, cute baby boy clothesline. And look at this, another one from Marianne. I love that she used the same die over and over again in different colors. Really beautiful, beautiful there. That's mine again. You already saw that live. So let's move to this one by Marianne. Now, here she skipped the clothesline and just went for all of the cute little clothes, gathered in little bunches all around her sentiment. And that is so cute. And it allows the toppings to really show through without being too distracting, which I love. Here's another one she did, non-shaker, and just a couple of little dies in order to make her, sentiment about baby clear. This one is by Greta, and you can see her fun take on creating the clothes. I love that she did the clothes with some of the more patterns in them. So she's got the rainbow and she's got the polka dots. Super cute. Here is another one by Greta in the boy colors. You can see how easy it is too with these endless additions. Again, not taking tons and tons of time. She just cut out 3 shapes from the clothesline, and then she, cut out her sentiment, a couple little accents, but you don't have to spend all day coming up with a design when you're doing clothesline. Just get the clothesline all the way across and a couple of embellishments and you're good to go. Okay, I'm going to scroll through your comments real fast. Let's see here. All right. Oh, I do see that at least 1, 2, 3. Oh, lots of people have my favorite movie. It's a Wonderful Life. That's my favorite too. That was a popular one. Wow. That's my favorite one too. Actually, that's not even just my favorite Christmas movie. That is my favorite movie of all time. But Grinch is fun too. Lots of fun ones here. Okay. Maybe I gave it away when I said it was an old one. It's one of the oldest ones that's still popular, I think. Although I also like The Bishop's Wife at Christmas time too, which is fun. Real old Cary Grant movie. Okay. And yet another new item tonight. This is our Christmas hats die set. Let me show you what it looks like in person. Sometimes it's nice to see a video versus a static picture. Get you a better feel for what things really look like and their size and things. So here they are. There are 3 fun little Santa hats. You've got 2 going in one direction and 1 going in the other direction. Now, keep in mind this is mirror image, right? Since when you cut out your paper, it'll be opposite of the way I'm showing you now. So for example, this, I think, is this one here on this hat. But you have options for direction. Also, this one kind of sits, It doesn't fluff up as much, which could be nice when you're trying to make sure it's going to fit in the space you want. This one's kind of nice because it's a little bit more like going down, whereas these ones all kind of turn upward a little bit. You have the choice of some fluffy, white parts like this. It has all of the extra little, like cloud-like almost look to it, or more of a straight look with the other two. You also get these little fun dies in it, little tiny holly berries and holly leaves that can be used on your hats just to give kind of a fun little accent. You can see it here on my polar bear. So that is what those are. So I think there's a total of, let's see, I wrote it down here, 11 dies with these. So cute and fun. And the reason that we brought these out was because we've recently released all of these really fun kits that have all these fun animals in them. And now you can customize those kits you already bought to make your Christmas cards. So the safari animals and the exotic add-on, that's where this penguin comes from. And also the woodlands kit, which is where the bear comes from. And then also the dinosaurs would be fun, or even maybe even what was that one? Exotic birds. I'm trying to remember what that one was called. Fancy birds, fancy birds, I think. Already lost the name. It has only been a couple months. Can't be a good sign. But those hats work on lots of those, but not even just those. There's like a reindeer in Santa's workshop that would probably work well on that too. So 3 hats customized to be a really good fit for those particular kits and animals in those kits. But on the farm, I mean, there's so many options. Let's take a look at some samples using these. All right. So here is one from Greta. Look at her cute bear. So she actually used the same dies that I did, right? She just kept hers more of the woodlands bear, whereas all I did was cut mine out from white in order to make mine a polar bear. So love how many options you have on there. I can't wait to see more of you do Santa hats on like the bear in different colors as well as, dinosaurs. I got to see that too. So, all right. I love how I think she used foam too on her hat in order to give it kind of some puffy sparkle. I think she cut that white part out of glitter foam. That's my bear again. Okay, and then look at the skunk. Isn't this so cute? I love that Greta did the skunk. Stinking cute, right? Okay, and the elephant. So you can see how whether it's woodlands or whether it's the slightly larger safari animals, they really do work well on all of them. There's one from Jean. Actually, both the elephant and the koala were from Jean, so exotic works as well. There's my penguin again. Look how cute the alligator is. I think I saw someone else do something similar in the Facebook group using previous Santa hat dies, slightly larger ones from a previous kit. Super cute, but I love the alligator in the Santa hat. And there's another one, again from Jean, and you can see the slightly less tall of this particular hat. It leans more down, which is nice, because if it had been any taller, you wouldn't have been able to read her sentiment. So really fun way to use that hat. And I love that she added the hollyberry accent on there. Beautiful job by Jean. So lots of fun options with that. Okay, let's see. Gonna read your comments real fast. Oh, yes, Dee, the white band can also be cut out of felt. Yes. Oh, and I meant to mention that when I was talking about like the baby or the Santa Claus, all of those, our dies, all dies cut felt really well. So Christmas clothesline, clothesline baby, the Santa hats cut out of felt, so cute. I would love to see some of you pull that off. So, Karen, can you make the animals as just an attachment to the card without making a shaker? Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Does it have to be a shaker? Nope. If you leave the foam out and just stack the dies in the same manner, it does not need to be a shaker. And many of you do that, and I've seen very cute examples of that. Helps you mail it flatter, as well as make it so that, like if you wanted to make it so you could take it off, you could put a tag with, you could use non-permanent tape, the double-sided tape that is just slightly tacky. That would work well for that. Or you could even use magnets or a little bit of Velcro. A couple of fun options for doing that. Okay, let's talk about some more new products because we are still not even close to being done releasing all of our new products tonight. All right, meet our Border Bonanza dies, set 1 and set 2. Hopefully I said the right names. I didn't write down which one was which. I don't have them in front of me. Actually, yes, I do. Let me grab them. That way I can make sure I tell you the correct numbers here. All right, yes, this is set 2, and this is set 1. So 5 fun new border dies, different than any dies we've done before. We have had border sets in the past, although these differ a little bit. The border dies that we have done in the past, we had on point, we had scalloped, we had, what else? Basic border dies. There's one more. Is it wavy? I think it's wavy. Something like that. They would put an edge on a piece of paper. Like you would cut out a rectangle, and then if you wanted that to have an edge to it, you could use the border die along that, rectangle to cut an edge on that shape. These are a little different in that they cut out the shape completely, much like some of the border dies we've been putting into the foundation dies. We have some that just go the 4 1/4 inches in the foundation dies, but these are a great addition to the foundation dies, and they will definitely be making their way into sketches. These go all the way across 5 1/2 inches. And yes, they are brand new. They may be similar to things we've done, but all different, and that nice 5 1/2 inch length. So here's a couple of fun examples of these. This one is by Mary Ann. She used them all across her tag there and then just trimmed. Another one by Mary Ann, just along the bottom border there. She added that little fun border in red. And then look at this. She created her own kind of endless shaker type of border by taking 4 of this fun kind of almost hexagon-ish shape border die and stacking those all around her image. I'm not sure if she used her own foam to make her own size or if she used endless foam. We'll have to ask her. But isn't that pretty? And what a beautiful scene that she made inside of there too. Gorgeous, gorgeous. And here's a non-shaker version. Look at how she did her feathered friends with this fun, scallop border, but I like to call it a rainbow border because to me it almost looks like mini rainbows going along the side there. Let's see. So yeah, lots of fun options with the border dies. And you've probably noticed as we've gone through samples tonight that they are on almost every card we've shown you. They make a really fun statement piece to your various cards, and you've been seeing them all night long. Okay, let's look at another fun new Christmas item. Snow! Snow in July, right? Now, it may be slightly cooler in Houston than it normally is, but it's definitely not snow weather. I'm just grateful to be mostly in the 80s instead of last year. We had it over 100 for weeks and weeks last year. So snow, this is a fun new topping. Let me show you what it looks like on my desk here. Let me show you how it comes. It comes in a bag. Oh, and those are your live look at the border dies. Set 1 and 2. So you saw the pictures, but there's that. Let me get those out of the way. Okay, so this is how it comes. It comes in a fun little bag like this, and it is really great because it's not really statically. Kind of see how that looks? Now, can it be messy? Yes, in a way, because it is loose, but it's not like glitter, where it like sticks to you forever and ever. This stuff actually, if I brush it off, it'll actually come off. And when I brush it up and throw whatever escaped into my trash can, it cleans up nice and easy. So if you were worried about whether that would be staticky or whether that would be like glitter and cause all kinds of mess, no, it's not so bad. Actually, I had really a lot of fun playing with snow. You saw it on a couple of my samples. Like, for example, look how cute it is making my polar bear fuzzy. Isn't that fun? All I did to do that is I took my paper before I die cut it, and I added double-sided sticky tape. I use score tape. Let me show you what I use. So this is my big roll of double-sided sticky score tape. So if I stick this down onto the back side or the front side of my cardstock before I cut it with a die, then afterwards I can peel this off, and I have a nice sticky die cut. Makes great for putting on the back of things to adhere small things. Like I did that on the back of the eyes and the nose and the mouth as well. So I could just stick them down like stickers. But for the shape of the bear and for the hat pieces in white, I put it on the front side of my die cut so that then I poured a bunch of this snow into a little container like this, And then I took my die cut and peeled off the liner and just tap, 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 tap until I could get really good coverage on my little bear. And I love how he looks so cuddly and cute, and I just want to snuggle with him because he's all fuzzy. So that's one way you can use the snow. Now, I don't know if you can see on camera, but there's also some snow in there too. I've got little snowflakes. It's a little hard to see on camera because I've got that terrible glare. But there is some snow inside my polar bear and with my other embellishments too. There we go. Now, one thing I did learn after I had used my double-sided tape is that sometimes I still have a piece or two escape. So when I was doing another one later on, this one, I tried something different on this hat for my penguin and my little ball on my hat. I just took liquid glue and put it all across the hat brim and the little ball here and let it dry just enough so that it was more tacky than liquid. And then did the same thing where I tapped all of that, die cut pieces into the snow. And I felt like that made it so that it was less likely to escape. So it actually stays on really good. Whereas once in a while, my snow, well, there's a lot of, I was having a lot of fun with the snow on my polar bear. I may be press and press and press and press. So some of it maybe isn't even stuck down to adhesive. It's just stuck to itself. But with this one, you can see it's staying put really well. So if you really want to make sure you're not going to be shedding it all, I think the liquid glue is the way to go. Where the double-sided sticky tape also works really well, especially if you have a large area to cover. But it may shed just a tiny bit more. Here's some of my little hats that I made. I kept wanting to have time to make a card where I was going to use the die-cut letters, but I never quite got a chance to finish that in time for tonight. But it will be coming as I get closer to Christmas for my Christmas cards. We'll see what I can do with that. Now, I did actually, if you saw on the candy cane, let's see, where's that card at? Here it is. On the candy cane, I did actually get that one finished, where I added the letters Joy with my fuzzy snow topping on them to my candy cane card. So that is a fun way to use that topping, as well as inside your shakers, like we showed you earlier with some of Marianne's fun cards. But yeah, a fun new option in toppings. Very versatile and a lot in a bag. I mean, I use this bag quite a bit, but it lasts a long time. Plenty in there. Okay. Let's see. What did I have next to show you from that? Oh, here's my, a couple of close-up looks. My letters, my polar bear. Okay, now let's talk about everything else that we have. I promised you a closer look at this. It's going to take me just a minute to free these guys. So while I do that, why don't you guys answer another question for me? What is your favorite Christmas food? That could be a baked good, or it could be the like Christmas meal you have with family, or what's your favorite Christmas candy? Whatever it is, tell me what your favorite Christmas food is. Okay, I'm going to push these free. Isn't the packaging great? When this comes to you, they should be solidly in here because they are really packaged well, which is good because be wrong. Maybe Wendy can clarify. Are these glass or are they just a heavy-duty plastic that feels like glass? I'm not even sure. But they are not lightweight. They are, I think they're just, yeah, they're a heavy-duty plastic that feels almost like glass because they really are hefty in terms of being solid and looking like glass. But yeah, plastic. Look how fun these are. So cute to have in a rainbow of colors. You can see size-wise, they fit about in the palm of my hand. And I don't know if I dare pull, let me pull up a dish. And I'll try dumping this out so you can see just how much one of these holds. It is packed with all kinds of amazing toppings. Look at this. Okay. Look at all of that. Isn't that just amazing? That is a lot of toppings. So an incredible deal to think that you could get all of that for free. I'll have fun pouring that back in the bottle later. But look at this. Isn't this amazing? So this is, if you weren't here earlier, this is our free with purchase gift. An incredible, what is it, a $40 value, I believe? I'll have to look at the website and confirm how much this is available to purchase. Or if you get your order high enough, but without discounts, without reward codes, then this can be yours for free. And it comes in the entire rainbow of colors, from pinks all the way down to the whites. And the whites are so pretty. I mean, how cute would some of this be in the snowflakes? You've got your assortment of buttons and sequins. You've got iridescent can't remember if we call these pops or not. There's plain pops, but there's also diamonds, and then there's these fun little iridescent ones. Look at even some cute little pom-poms in there. Isn't that fun? You've got mini buttons and full-size buttons and sequins. All kinds of amazing stuff in here. Love it, love it, love it. So, and gonna last you a long time too. It's gonna go a long way for card making to have all of that. So, that is a free with purchase item. Now, also in our sale tonight is all kinds of embellishment bundles. Now, we're finally talking about things that are not necessarily new. Let me just take it all out so we can see them better. Not fun. So these are new, but the other things I'm about to show you are new in terms of being sometimes in a Christmas collection, but not necessarily new to Queen & Company. For example, there are buttons, and there are sequence toppings, and there are, oops, I knocked the packaging over, emeralds. These are one of my favorites. Look how pretty these are, and I've been using them. They, especially the whites, they come fuller than that, but I've been using those. Emeralds, pops. There's other things too. If you go look at the embellishment section, like there's some epoxy, there's, let's see what else is there. There's a diamond mix, there's, I don't know, pearls. There's a bunch of things. I don't necessarily have all of them here with me to show you, but be sure and check out the embellishments. Also keep in mind too that we have all sorts of restocks back in. So we have holiday paper pads up the, all kinds of crazy amounts of paper pads. I think I even saw some of the very first ones we've ever done. So if you like paper pads, be sure and check that out too. And then, oh yeah, and Rockettes. I forgot about those. I love those. If you see those, they're actually on a really good price today. Okay. So let me show you an example of what we can do. I'm going to do a quick card tonight. It's going to be kind of simple tonight because my oldest son is flying home from college. I have to get to the airport in a little bit. And I'm so excited. I haven't seen him in almost 7 months. Last time he was home was actually Christmas. So good night to be celebrating Christmas in July since he's coming home again. Okay, so let me clear my space here. And let's make a card together. Oh, I didn't get to read your comments on Christmas food. I want to know. Let's see what we got. What have we got here? Let's see. Oh, goodness. I am so sorry, you guys. I'm doing too many things at once. Okay. All right, I screwed that up bad. I am so sorry. I need to check comments better. I've got too many things trying to balance at once. I hope some of you are still with me. Let's look at that again. I am so sorry. I think I froze you, and I think I actually didn't transition when I was supposed to. Let's look at the topping bottles. I am so sorry. Feel free to laugh hard. That was crazy. Okay. The ornament. All right, let's dump out another one. I dumped out yellow. Let's dump out a different color this time. All right. Let's do, should we just do pink since it's Queen & Company? All right, so look, here are the bottles. Let me show you the packaging I took them out of earlier. They come in this fun little container that shows them all organized beautifully by rainbow color. And when you open them up, you get that nice, like I said earlier, almost glass-like hard plastic container. And look how much is in here. All right, so take 2 on this. Here we go. Look how much is in each of these bottles. Isn't that crazy? So much. You'll be crafting forever with this. So, like I said before, diamonds. Your fun little iridescent. Let's see if I can pull one up here. Iridescent. I don't know, what do we call these, Wendy? Pops? Not sure, but diamonds, and then you've got the sequins. But I love the iridescent little round ones, whatever they're called, I can't remember. And then you've got your buttons in here. All right. Pom-poms. See the cute little pom-poms? There's only a couple of those, but wouldn't that be fun to add to your Santa hat at the bottom of the little ball part? And you've got those in all the different colors. So there you go. And I apologize for leaving you on the other screen. But look at that. Isn't that just gorgeous? That is going to make a ton of cards with just one bottle, let alone with all 8. And speaking of all 8, here's a better view of all 8. And here's the one I dumped out earlier. Look at the yellow. Isn't that gorgeous? All right. I am so sorry about that. Let me try again with our embellishments. Pops. And the the white. Emeralds, which, like I was saying before, are some of my favorite topping options. All right, there we go. And glitter sequins. There are those. Oh, a couple more of those. One of my favorites is this one right here. Putting this in with a snow globe effect or our endless kits, or sometimes I even glue it around as an embellishment. You can kind of see it here. See the fun little iridescent effect you get as you glue it onto your card as an embellishment? So I love those glitter sequins. Sorry, I'm still feeling very sheepish about leaving you on the other screen. Glitter buttons, all kinds of fun things. Okay, what else did I miss? And did you guys even say any Christmas food? I'll have to maybe go back to that later. Thanks for being patient, everybody. All right. Corrine, family traditions of sugar cookies and skating at Emery. Most favorite thing at Christmas. I love that. Putting up a tree in your craft room. That's awesome too. All right. Yeah, Lynn, how much fits in that ornament? Seriously. It is a lot. And the fact that you're going to be able to pick that up for free, I still don't know how Wendy figured out how to do that, but it's nice. So, and yeah, Wendy's right. The box does weigh a ton. So, okay. All right. Whew. So sorry about that. Let's go on to making a card together. How's that sound? I hope I didn't leave you guys beyond further than that. Did I show you the snow? We still trying to see the snow in person? I don't even know if that made it in the live or not. There is that. If I didn't show it earlier, now you've seen it at least. And thanks for sticking around despite that. Definitely gonna get fired someday from this. All right, so let me move these bottles out of the way. And let's make a quick card before I rush off to the airport. Like I said, this one's gonna be a little bit on the simpler side, but still fun. And it's gonna use a mix of products that have been released tonight. Let me pull this over. Okay, what else didn't show up? The border dies? Hopefully they did too. Let's see. Okay. You saw the snow. Good. So it wasn't as long as I feared. Okay. So I've got a card base. I'm going to zoom you out just a little bit so you can see my workspace a little better now. And I'm going to pull out the pieces I've die cut previously, including one of my little Santa hats. We're going to use it standalone tonight. And I've got just a couple snowflakes from our holiday foundation dies. And this is a sentiment from our Endless Clothesline Christmas. And then these are from our new border dies. I think one of them is from set 1 and one is from set 2. And we're going to create a background using just those border dies. Let me pull my glue over. All we're going to do is we're going to take these border dies that I cut. We're going to kind of create a, well, to me it looks a little bit like a sweater, like a really pretty cable knit sweater, just by taking the two different borders, and we're going to glue them all the way down the front card just to give us a fun little pretty background. This is going to be a mostly white card, but it's going to have that pretty amount of texture. And we're going to channel our inner Christmas sweater, although this would be maybe a pretty Christmas sweater as opposed to an ugly one. Okay. Tell me in the comments if there's anything else I missed that you need me to show again, and I will fix it. Okay. Also, let's see. I know you guys told me food, which I will go back and catch up with more of the food. But maybe drop your favorite Christmas activity. Did I already ask that? I'm flummoxed now that I realize my goof. Is it putting up your tree? Is it having a chance to have grandkids over to do some baking? For me, I think probably putting the ornaments on the tree. I collect ornaments when I travel, and so every time the family is out going someplace, we get an ornament, and then when we put up our Christmas tree every year, it is a fun opportunity to reflect on all of the fun vacations and places we've been together as a family, and I think that's probably my favorite. Although Christmas crafting makes my list pretty high too. How about for the rest of you? Wrapping presents, attending Christmas Eve service. Okay, there is a good one for sure. I can definitely relate to that one. Decorating, being together with family and friends. That is definitely the highlight of the season right there, isn't it? With some of my kids old enough to leave now, having them come back home for the holidays makes that part of the holidays even more special. Okay. So it's going to take me a few minutes to get all the way down here, but maybe I'll share with you one of my favorite Christmas foods while we wait for this to get done. And it's kind of a new thing. I used to have, well, I have lots of favorites, but this one's kind of new. About 3 or 4 years ago, I discovered this recipe. And you know my name is Ginger, so it kind of fits that my favorite Christmas food would be something with gingerbread in it, right? But these are gingerbread squares that are kind of like a cookie bar, but then they have cream cheese topping on them, cream cheese frosting on them. And then they get sprinkled with a little dash of cinnamon and ginger on top. And I just love those things, and I have to make sure I wait till all the family is actually home before I make them, because otherwise I will eat the entire pan. But I just love those things. Something about the amount of spice in them. I do love them. Okay. So I think I cut out 14 of these, and we'll see if we end up needing them all, or if I end up needing to cut 1 or 2 extras, but you can kind of see the effect I'm going for here. Okay. Just to get down the card with that fun little bit of extra texture. You may have noticed that there's actually a kind of a different type of stitch mark that is on some of these dies, these border dies. Instead of going kind of like a long stitch mark, this one actually, let me bring that down a little bit. This one actually has a series of dots on some of the dies. So let me bring that up so you can see it better. So you can see how some of them have the longer stitch mark, like this one, and this one here just has the straight up circle, like little pinprick. I love that there's a little bit of variety by doing it that way. Okay, that one's not quite as straight as I want. Let me move that up just a little. Okay. All right. So I'm just alternating the 2 different styles, but it would be fun and easy to go ahead and add an additional style. On my candy cane card, I kind of did this general idea, but I used the kind of straight, pierced rectangle border here to alternate and mix in with some of these others. And that's, again, another look at the change in the stitch lines, just to give you a little bit more variety and a little bit of different look to things. Okay. I only have a few more of these cut, so we'll have to see. I don't have time to cut any more, but we'll get at least the general idea here of how this is going to turn out. And actually, maybe it'll work. Maybe what we'll do is we'll save a space at the bottom for the sentiment to go. It doesn't necessarily have to be backed with these fun borders. Okay, that's pretty straight. I'm an eyeballer. Are all of you eyeballers, or are some of you like have to line it up on the grid and make sure it's total straight? So you can see that goes there, and then I'm going to take this here, and just that's going to go about here. Get glue off there. And then I'm going to take a little bit of double-sided tape, and I'm going to stick that to the back just enough to give it a little bit of a pop up off of those borders. I do want them to stand out just a little bit from the background. So just a little bit of very thin, like maybe 1/2 millimeter foam tape, just enough to get it to kind of stand out and give us a little bit of shadow around the edges so that the eye will kind of connect the dots that it's standing up a little bit. I love the look of white on white, but it does help to add a little bit of extra dimension so that things don't all kind of run together. So let's get that centered about here. And then again, just to kind of complete the more finished look to it, I actually have another rectangle, this one not scalloped. We're going to do the same thing with it. That's why I used that smaller, thinner, it's not smaller, but thinner foam tape, so that when we do add some bulk, we're still not adding too much. Can you see how thin it is? It's just enough to give us some dimension without being overly thick. Okay, let's stick that front and center. Okay. Now, my little Santa hat from earlier already had some foam tape on it because at first it was going to go on one of my animals. So he is going to be stuck up a little bit higher than the other pieces, but that's all right. He is, after all, our center focal point. And we're going to put it right in the center, over just a little. About like that. Down the edges there. And then I've got a couple of little white snowflakes that I used our holiday foundations to cut out. And I'm going to add them just all around my Santa hat. Just a little. I'm not going to put anything on the edges, just in the center. So I want to fluff up the edges just a little bit. So you can see we've got our brand new border dies. We've got our Santa hat. We've got our sentiment from our Christmas clothesline. So you can definitely mix and match all of these fun new products together. Oops, stay put. I'll hold it 1 minute longer. Okay. Now, let me reach into our new glitter buttons, Christmas glitter buttons. And I'm going to add one to the center of each of these snowflakes. About there. And then let's see. Not sure if I'm going to use maybe some of this like I showed you earlier, or maybe even some of this in terms of being just a little bit of an accent piece across the card. Pull up my glue dots and do the buttons too in a minute, but let me pull out some of these silver. I was kind of thinking I would just kind of scatter a few random pieces of this glitter sequence around my card to finish it off. Oh, jumping away from me. Something maybe along those lines. So let me get my glue dots out. We'll get those buttons down, and then we'll do some trimming on the side. We'll see how this card turns out. All right, right there. Still love me my glue dots. I use them all the time. I like that this card has like a certain level of like maybe sophistication to it, but yet it wasn't that hard, especially if you use all of the different border dies and cut them all out. You could cut out 5 or 6 at a time. Well, actually, I guess if you really wanted to, you could cut out all 10 at a time. Don't know how well that would work, but you could try it. And then you could kind of mass produce, because this really isn't that complicated of a card. Pretty easy to do. Let me pop up that sentiment a bit. Since my hat is popped up so high, I'm going to pop the sentiment up a little higher as well. That way the dimension feels a little more equal. Okay. Let's get that down on the bottom here. Now, I don't have any handy, but I think I might go looking later for a couple of very small white epoxy dots. And I'll add, you know me, I'm an over-embellisher. If you've been following me long enough to know about Queen & Company products, you've probably seen my cards are always full of embellishments. This one for me is kind of tame, but I love the more elegant look. But I probably will go look and see if I can find any white epoxy dots and add a couple in really small sizes around my snowflakes, just to look like a little bit more snow is falling besides these bigger snowflakes and these little fun sequins. Now I do really like the iridescent ones, but I don't think they would have stood out quite enough. So I'm glad that I I should have polled you to ask which ones we should do, but I think this one worked out real pretty. Okay. Now we can give this a trim. And then I'll go search for my epoxy dots. But you can see how simple and elegant a card like that can be. Let's trim the edges here of our borders. All right. Let's see how we did. Isn't that cute? Sometimes simple really is best, right? Okay. Well, thank you to those of you still with me, and I do have, as promised, that sneak peek for you. Let me go grab it real fast. But I wanted to have a chance to show you something coming up. It's going to be brief, but here it is, an upcoming kit. Very different than what we launched tonight. Very, very fun. Okay, that's the only peek you get. So if you paused it, you saw longer, but there you go. Hopefully that's all right, Wendy? Because I didn't ask you which one would be okay. Maybe next time we'll get a chance to show you guys some sneak peeks of upcoming foundations, because we do have 3 coming up, and they're some of my favorites. All right. Well, thank you again, everyone, for being here with me tonight. Let me remind you one more time of the special that is running tonight. Our free with purchase gift if you spend over $149. It's one of the most incredible gifts I've ever seen a company give away. That is one heck of a giveaway. So please be sure to go check it out if you haven't already. Everyone have a wonderful evening, and I will see you all again soon. And thanks again for your patience. Much appreciated. Good night, everybody.